The other guys, Will Ferrell teaming up with Adam McKay, who co-wrote and directed this film. Their fourth time these guys have gotten together. In between their career maker, as far as I'm concerned, they did Step Brothers and Talladega Nights, the bookends of those movies now. This movie, The Other Guys, and at the other end, Anchorman. And I mean, I've seen Anchorman, I don't know, 35 times. I can't find a funnier movie than Anchorman. And I think this is their best effort since Anchorman. We'll get to that momentarily. Basically, Will Ferrell's a cop. He's not incompetent, but he does not connect in any way with any of the other cops. There's Sam Jackson and The Rock. They're like Tango and Cash. They're driving cars 200 miles an hour. They're driving their cars through buses. They're shooting everybody. They're awesome. And Will Ferrell's a dork, and he stays in the office, and he's partners with Mark Wahlberg, who's frustrated by being locked in the office. And, of course, he's locked in the office because he shot.
Don't tell them that.
Or he perhaps shot someone else.
In the toughest city in the world, nobody fights crime like these guys.
Somebody call 911, holy
And then there's the other guys.
Stop humming that song.
We know. All the gunfights, all the car chases, all the sex we don't want to have with women, but we have to, all due to what you guys do.
And we do it again and again.
Hey, if I want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm and work your mouth like a puppet.
Peace out. Real characters.
You stopping there?
What?
I think you're a fake cop.
I hear a guy who's probably a little insecure.
All units, we've got a possible jumper.
We all know you're in a very dark place right now. I'm gonna do it! You're feeling as if sweet death is your only release.
Oh, we got a second jumper!
Oh, look, he's flying.
We've seen this movie and we're still laughing at stuff about it.
I can't believe they don't even, the Anchorman is not even, they're like from the director of Talladega Nights and Step Brothers.
Yeah, no, this is really funny. This is way funnier than I thought it was going to be. Because they play a lot of it totally straight. They play a lot of the action sequences completely straight. There's this great John Woo homage. This big slow-mo shootout in a glassed-in conference room. There's like documents and glass flying and bullets and bodies in slow motion. It's a blast. And that's part of why this works. The comedy is really, really deadpan. This is not a parody along the lines of like a scary movie kind of parody.
No.
And because they play it so straight, because a lot of the humor is very understated, it really, really pops because of that reason.
Yeah, it's a parody that sort of takes itself seriously. There's no winking.
No, not at all.
It acts as if, no, we're not parodying anything. This is what's going on.
At the same time, this is wonderful, like kinky kind of weird streak to it. It gets weird early and often, and it totally works for me every time.
You saw Mark Wahlberg there, and he doesn't really play the straight man in the classic sense because he's got a real edge to him. But there's a scene where he learns some personal detail about here. I won't give this away. About Will Ferrell, but he just keeps repeating. No, seriously, what's that? and it gets you, and it builds, and it builds, and it's built. He's incredulous throughout the entire movie about how Will Ferrell managed to get to this point in life, both his failures and his successes. I thought Wahlberg worked really well. I thought, well, sort of, I'm going to keep referring to Anchorman, and I think a lot of our listeners, Cenk and I have clips of Anchorman. We play it a lot. People who love Anchorman, but Ron Burgundy was a bit of a stooge. There was secretly, he's actually not. He's actually a little smart, and there's some depth to him. This character, much more well-rounded. And the same, much more well-rounded than Ricky Bobby or the character in Step Brothers too. He has some depth, but the pacing to me, like within 2 or 3 minutes, I thought, oh, these are the Anchorman guys. The pacing to me was exactly the same, and to me, that's I mean that complimentary.
There's something kind of staccato, kind of like halting about the cadence of the way they deliver the lines. I think a lot of that is because they must have improvised so much of it, because Will Ferrell must have gotten so much leeway, and that's just how he delivers this kind of stuff, and that really works for him. A lot of this is kind of familiar. in that Will Ferrell is doing a variation on that character we know. He takes himself totally seriously. He's totally confident in himself and just oblivious to what a complete buffoon he is. But there's something sweet there too.
Yep.
And so this is that guy. Mark Wahlberg's kind of playing with his role in The Departed as like a hothead kind of detective. Everything about this kind of seems like on paper it might be too cute and too knowing and too familiar, but like there are just enough little tweaks and just enough little weird things that make the formula different that I had a blast. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, there's Alan Gamble is Will Ferrell's name, and Alan Gamble has this again cluelessness, but this humanity to him that sort of makes him. That makes him plausible. Real quick, some of the other characters, they seem perfectly cast. Michael Keaton.
He's great.
He's terrific as their boss. And then the little parts like the TV reporters and the hot dog salesman. I mean, those scenes are written really well, and they're, the timing is perfect, and they're well cast. And everybody, and Sam Jackson and The Rock they're great.
Again, playing with their image of being over the top and larger than life, but like they're hilarious and kind of irresistible doing that. Eva Mendes is great in this. Everyone's really, really good in this. I love my ass
There's
off.
not really a weak link in it. There's not
a weak link. I think it gets a little repetitive toward the end. It runs out of steam in the third act. They have to go back to some of the same jokes that we laughed at from the beginning. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. It feels a little draggy there toward the end.
I thought it ran out of gas briefly in the second act and then restarted its engine.
Okay.
So
we had fun.
But we definitely had fun, and so did the audience.
7.5 for me.
I liked it. I was overwhelmingly tempted to give this an 8, which for me is in your A range. I pulled it down to like a point, not a full point, a tenth of a point.
Right.
I ended up at 7.9. I couldn't. It's as funny a movie as I've seen, pretty close to among the funniest movies I've seen this year, and I have the feeling this is going to be a movie in a few years where I say, oh, the other guys, I've seen it 14 times.
Yeah. No, it's kind of thing you should go back and like watch over and over again just for the little tiny asides.
I already want to see it again.
Okay.
It's like Inception.
It's all a dream.
Yeah.
The top keeps spinning at the end of the other guys.
Okay, so
yes.
if I gave it a 7.9 and you gave it a 7.5. Oh,
It's
don't cheat. Quick.
No, I looked at my little sticky note here, so I already cheated and I know it's 7.7.
Yeah, well, I
Thank
think you could have done that in your
Next
head.
week we'll do quantum physics for fun.
So a pretty good rating there, 7.7, and basically we're recommending both movies, but it's a pretty high recommendation.
It's a good week, yeah. Surprisingly a good
guys,
week,
yeah.
yeah.
What's next week?
You're so bummed about this because you're going to miss Eat, Pray, Love next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be shooting for Turner Classic Movies. So we're doing Eat, Pray, Love, and do we have
And Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I'm guessing is what you guys actually want to hear us talk about. But we're going to have a little bit of fun with Eat, Pray, Love, I think.
Look, Julia Roberts, big movie star.
Right, she goes and she eats gelato in Italy. It's very empowering.
I'm going to see it.
Are you?
I love Julia
This
Roberts.
is your sensitive side.
She's lovely.
Aww.
She's lovely. Who doesn't want to see Julia Roberts? All right, Christy Lemire from the Associated Press, thanks. Always
Thank you.
fun to talk to you. And until next week, thanks for watching What the Flick.